Hello everyone, welcome to the When It Worked podcast. You're with the host Julian Leahy. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Susan Hensley and Lisa Franz. Welcome to the show, wonderful ladies. I was going to say lists, which means guests and ladies.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to play Jeopardy and then we're going to meet our fabulous guests. And let's load up the board. The categories today are city food, foods that are known, famous from a particular city in the United States. These are all real Jeopardy questions. Science, world cities, scrambled sayings, common sayings, but they kind of got one word in the wrong spot. 4-syllable words, the Ivy League. Now, these are not colleges. These are words that have IV in them. All right, Lisa, on the left, you can kick things off. What category would you like?
I'm going to go for world cities.
World cities, I'm assuming 100. For a day of fun and shopping, a lot of people head to this Mexican city about 15 miles south of San Diego.
That's Tijuana, I believe.
Tijuana is correct. Well done. You can get into lots of trouble in Tijuana. You're in control, Lisa. What would you like?
Still, okay. I'm going to go with city food.
City food for 100. If you know the answer, holler. Buffalo wings don't come from a bison, but from this bird and from the city in New York.
Oh,
where the Buffalo Bills come from.
I do not know that one. I don't know that one.
Here's your big opportunity.
It's Buffalo.
Susan. Buffalo.
Oh, it is Buffalo.
It is Buffalo.
It's incredible that I knew that one, and I'm as far away from Buffalo as you could imagine. Susan, what would you like?
Let's see. Let's try city food for 200.
City food for 200. You don't have to live in Philly to spread your bagel with Philly something.
Cream cheese.
Cream cheese. I've got some in the fridge. Well done,
That's
Susan.
a good one. I guess I'm going to stay with city food for 300.
City food 300. It's traditional to serve this city's steamed brown bread with its world-famous baked beans. Doesn't sound too enticing.
No,
Steamed bread with baked beans?
I know the baked beans.
Who's
Never
famous for
steamed
baked
bread.
beans, Susan?
Well, Boston.
Boston.
That's like a brand. Is that right?
It's correct. Well done, Susan. You got there.
I've never heard of the steamed bread.
Your
though,
knowledge
but
of baked beans got you through.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to stay with city food because it's been lucky so far for 400.
City food for 400. I just assumed. Sorry.
no.
Bananas Foster and oysters Rockefeller are two yummy dishes created in this southern city. It's a city known for its music.
Okay.
I think.
Well, southern city known for music's New Orleans, but okay, I'll say New Orleans, but I'm not quite sure.
All right. It is New Orleans. Oh, thank goodness. I thought I'd given you a bum steer. Well done.
Yeah, no,
Susan.
I'm glad you did. I was probably heading towards, I guess, Charleston until you said music.
I thought
That
it was
a good
actually going to
steer.
be
Thank you.
next to New Orleans, and then I would have felt terrible. But you got it. What would you like, Susan?
Okay, I'll finish this category with city foods for 500.
City foods for 500. A typical Denver sandwich contains eggs cooked with bits of ham, onion, and this chopped green veggie.
Interesting. I always think of a Denver omelet, but the chopped green veggie's a bell pepper in the omelet. Is that it for the sandwich?
And do we have a name for the sandwich?
I call it a Denver omelet. I have no idea what the Denver sandwich is. Denver sandwich?
Oh, sorry.
No.
Sorry, I didn't. I failed at reading. You just needed to know the vegetable, which was green peppers, which you got, Susan. Well done.
Oh, perfect. So I have never heard of a Denver sandwich, but I like Denver omelet, so that was good.
You got it. I was not paying attention. Susan, what would you like?
Oh, okay. Let's try scrambled sayings for 100.
Scrambled sayings for 100. Sorry, safe than better. If you know it, jump in,
Okay.
Lisa.
Better safe than sorry.
You got it. Well done. You guys are so polite. I could just tell that you knew the answer and you were being nice about it. Lisa, what would you like?
Well, I'd continue in that category then.
Yes, sounds good. Scrambled sayings for 200. Can't join them if you beat them.
Can't beat them if you don't join them. No, I don't know.
This was the duck used to say this. Daffy Duck on Suffer and Succotash. That guy. If
you can't beat them, join them.
That's the one.
Oh yes.
I think he said that, or maybe it was Sylvester. I'm not sure. You probably don't even know what I'm talking about. You're in control, Susan. Should we continue on?
Yeah, let's continue on with scrambled sayings. We're getting the hang of it.
A hard rock and a place between. You might say this if you lost your passport in Tijuana.
Between a rock and a hard place?
That's the one. Well done, Susan. Great job. Round of applause. Both of you. All right, Susan. What would you like?
Let's keep doing scrambled sayings, and Lisa, if you know them, jump in.
Jump in.
Okay.
Holla.
Sure.
New dog tricks you and old teach can't.
Can teach an old dog new tricks.
That's the one. You can, but it's very difficult. Lisa.
Well, I like world cities, so let's go for that one. 200.
World Cities 200. Volksgarten isn't a parking lot for Volkswagens, but a beautiful park noted for its rose bushes in this Austrian city.
Well, I have not heard of that one, but let's just say Vienna.
That's the only Austrian city I know, because I'm... Well done, you got it.
Woohoo!
Lisa, great job.
Well, next one in that category.
World Cities for 300. Oh, this city was the capital of British India from 1772 to 1912.
Well, Mumbai or Bombay or whatever it was called at the time. I think it has changed.
Susan, do you have any idea?
I would have said Bombay.
Okay, we've got two Bombays.
With Lisa.
It's Calcutta.
Oh.
There we go.
Yes, the other one, which is renamed to Kolkata, which was the original non-English saying. Lisa, you're still in control.
Oh, okay. Well, same category, please.
Same category, World Cities for 400. The defenders of this city were considering surrender when Joan of Arc got the king to send a relieving army.
I have literally no idea.
Joan of Arc was a kick-ass French girl, like that used to like cut people's heads off with swords. And I think, did she get burnt at the stake eventually?
Yeah,
typical. Now, where was she sort of doing her work?
Was it in Versailles, Paris?
Something. It's got to be. Let's go with Versailles. Susan, do you want to have a punt?
No, I know France. I would have gone with Paris, but I don't think that's right.
Let's take a look. Oh, it was Orleans, which was the original from which New Orleans was named after. Just like we've got New South Wales down here.
Right.
Who's in control? I've lost the plot. I think Lisa. World Cities.
Okay, me still. Well, let's finish off the category then, even though it's getting harder and harder.
It is.
Definitely it's getting harder.
More than half of Manitoba's people live in this city.
Oh.
Do you know your provinces up there in Canada?
I do not. I have no idea.
Susan?
Say Montreal or something like
Montreal as one.
No, I guess Montreal is in Quebec, isn't it? So that's not correct.
Oui.
Yeah, don't know.
Susan, do you want to have a guess? You might get it.
I don't think so, but I'm gonna go to Calgary because I'm just not sure what
Calgary.
province that's in.
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg. Okay, now that you say it, it sort of clicks.
Of course, I knew it all along. That's what I say.
I did.
Yes.
That was a hard category.
It was pretty tough.
Started good, then got rough.
Lisa, what would you like?
Okay, well then let's finish off the scrambled sayings category.
Scrambled sayings. The young wasted youth is on.
The youth is wasted on the young. Is that the
Look,
saying?
it's close enough. I think I just want to drop that the.
Yeah.
Youth is wasted
on the young. I'm going to give it to you. Well done, Lisa.
Thanks.
It's true though. If you could go back and be
Okay, well
20
then,
years old.
Maybe let's try the Ivy League.
Ivy League for 100. Type of war between different factions within the same country. For example, in the United States in 1600 something.
Civil War?
Like a Civil War.
Civil War has got IV in it. Well done, Susan. Hensley. I had a friend called Hensley. Do you know what his nickname was?
What?
Chook. That means chicken in Australia, because hen. We do this thing where we give these funny nicknames. Yeah, it's Australian.
Very good.
Susan?
Let's see. I'm going to do 4-syllable words. I want to try that one.
4-syllable words for 100. If you're a Pollyanna, you're excessively this happy. Like, I'll give you an example of someone who would be a Pollyanna. Regis Philbin.
Is optimistic.
Optimistic.
Yeah, it's the
is
syllables.
4 syllables.
I thought of the word,
well
but then I had to
done,
do the
Susan. How did you get that?
Well, the word came right away. It was breaking down the syllables.
Did Regis Philbin get you over the edge?
I'm not sure, but he is
Not sure.
optimistic.
He was.
That one's
Not
a little
anymore.
nerve-wracking. Let's go back to, let's try science for 100. We've done nothing in science.
For 100. The fish-like amphixus has a structure called a notochord, which in humans develops into this column.
Is that a spine? That's the only column I can think of in humans.
You got it. Susan, well done.
Well done.
Doing very well. You could go on the real Jeopardy, I'm sure of it.
I would not do that. Okay, Well, let's try science, maybe nerves. Let's go back to 4-syllable words for 200.
4-syllable words for 200. It's the ancient method in use to stimulate health by puncturing skin with needles.
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture from the health nut over there. Lisa, have you had any acupuncture?
Yes, I have only once in my life. It was actually pretty effective.
Did you know that apparently physical therapists do it sort of now as well? My wife got needles stuck in her and I couldn't believe it. I was going to write a letter. No, I didn't. All right. Lisa, what would you like?
Well, same category, please.
Same category. Which was it?
That was
4-syllable.
4-syllable.
For 300. One who determines the odds on a horse or the line on on a football game. It's not the bookmaker, but you know, the person who sets the odds. And they do it in a race to make it more even.
Handicapper?
You got it. Well done, Susan.
It's these 4 syllables. Wow. Okay.
Incredible.
Well, let's try and finish that out, or not finish out. We still have a few more. Let's do 4-syllable words for 400.
The word for this type of test you may run on your computer comes from the Greek for to know. This is an example of a question that I uploaded and I cannot remember the answer. 4-syllable word. You may run it on your computer. I just got it.
Oh, so it's diagnostic.
You got it, Susan. Incredible.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Who hosts Jeopardy these days? Is it Bloom or whatever her name is? Blossom? No, it's the guy Ken Jennings, isn't it?
You know, I'm just not sure.
Not
After
sure.
Alex Trebek, I sort of lost track.
Yes, he was the OG. What would you like,
He
Susan?
was. Oh, okay. Let's just finish 4-syllable words for 500.
4-syllable words for 500. Determination and energy in starting a project or the process of citizens proposing a law for public vote. Determination and energy for starting a project or the process of citizens proposing a law for public vote.
Is it like a referendum?
That's what I think, but I don't know how that fits the first part.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, it's. I keep thinking of enthusiasm, but I've never heard it for a law.
Me
Let's
either.
take
Yeah,
a look.
no.
And
Oh, there you go.
That's, I don't
Somewhere
think that's
between
good.
the
That
two.
description is not what initiative. Initiative is being resourceful. It's not energy and enthusiasm and determination. So I'm going to put a complaint in to whoever did these questions. Susan, I think you're still in control.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a tough one. Let's do the Ivy League for 200 then.
Ivy League for 200, seemingly insignificant facts and info, but not on Jeopardy.
Trivia.
Trivia is correct. Well done, Susan.
It's the Ivy, yeah, but not on Jeopardy. Interesting.
Susan, this is an incredible score, 3,200. It's one of the highest I've ever seen.
Wow.
Oh
What
my
would you like?
Okay, let's do science for 200.
Science for 200. Newton's third law of motion is usually quoted as, for every action, there is this 3-word type of reaction.
Equal and opposite.
Equal and opposite. Somebody was awake during physics. Wasn't me. Well done.
Good job.
I was too dumb to do physics. I'm telling lies. Lisa, what would you like?
Let's stay in the same category.
Same category, 300. In geologic theory, the Earth's outer shell has about 12 big these moving around tectonically.
Oh, Jesus.
If you go to a Greek restaurant, you might even break a few.
I think they're plates.
See, Susan being very diplomatic. You got it. Well done, Susan. What would you like?
Let's do science again for 400 this
Science
time.
for 400. Boric acid, a weak acid, is used as this bacteria-killing, infection-preventing type of substance. Boric acid.
Antibiotic? Oh. Is that it?
Hey, look, that's pretty valid. I think you've almost got it. Let me just have a look. It's antiseptic. So the antiseptic just kind of disinfects everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we could have used that a couple of years ago. Susan, what would you like?
Okay, science has now scared me. Let's go back to the Ivy League for 300.
Ivy League 300, to excuse someone from payment of a debt. Or, yeah.
Is it forgive?
Well, that is an acceptable answer. I think it's something else. And you would commonly hear it as saying, we decided to grant them a...
Oh, reprieve.
reprieve.
Oh, well
Is
done.
that it?
Actually, I think you might be more correct than me, and I'm just full of it. Forgive is correct, yes. See?
Oh, it was.
There you go.
The guy who put him in doesn't even know. It's quite common on this game. Susan, let's do one more question, then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, well, let's see. Lisa, do you have a preference? They're both tough.
I don't.
Okay, well, let's try the Ivy League versus science.
Ivy
for
League
400.
400, a competitor for this same object or goal. And it's an IV word. A competitor for the same object or goal. IV. It's going to be IV together. Nothing on this one. Same object or goal.
Absolutely nothing.
Like you're running in a race together. Who knows? Let's take a look. A rival. I guess, yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's have a round of applause for our wonderful guests. And I think we've got an all-time top score. I think I didn't give you some points there. It should be 4,200. Let's blow the horn for that one. Well done, Susan. All right, Lisa, tell us on the left what you've been up to. You're a fitness trainer and a nutritionist. Tell us how you got into that and why you did.
Well, I have always struggled with various diets and nutrition fads when I was in my early 20s. And at some point, I thought that can't be it. It can't be possible that you can't live a life that you truly enjoy living and at the same time have a body in which you feel good in. And thankfully, through my university studies and then some good teachers, I learned that in the end, it comes down to energy balance. And technically speaking, you can eat anything that you want. Of course, the majority of what you eat should be nutritious, but also you can also fit in a glass of wine. You can also fit in a slice of brownie or piece of pizza or whatever without having to feel guilty, and you can still have the body that you love. And so since I have learned about that, that's kind of been my mission to teach other people that you can travel, you can, enjoy your grandma's cake, and you can go on date night and still have a body composition that you're quite happy with.
Well, I don't have the body composition I'm happy with, but I've got the cake and the wine thing down. So I just got to get to the next bit. And what prompted you to, why were you looking for this type of thing in your 20s?
Well, with various restrictive diets, let's just say I was trying like paleo and low carb, and I just really felt like it was diminishing my own quality of life. So at that point in time, I had already gone through my bachelor's degree, which was in exercise science. And so I've always had a passion for physiology, for the human body, but then I just couldn't grasp that I would have to go through these restrictive things where I'm not allowed various, like I can't eat carbs or I couldn't have bread or whatever. And so essentially then learning that I can actually have that food freedom was just super, super liberating. And for me, it was like a wake up call of like, hey, I want this to be my full-time mission, and sport exercise is just kind of on the side now, but mostly when it comes to nutrition, because we all have to eat. I mean, you can avoid doing exercise, you can avoid doing certain things in life, but we all have to eat. So I think it's something that's really relevant for everybody.
Yeah, the fad things are just horrific. Like my kids they got me these man shakes. Do you have that brand in America? And they're basically saying, "Dad, you're fat." And so I started having these chocolate milkshakes, and it was just like, this is not good. I'm not enjoying this, and you feel horrible, and you're depriving yourself, and you go into ketosis or whatever. But it's just like you feel like you're in a concentration camp. I'm being a bit dramatic, but yes. And you've got the idea of combining nutritional science with the fitness side of things. Is that what you did at university? Nutrition, did you say?
So yeah, in my bachelor's degree, it was exercise science and health promotion, and nutrition was a minor, but the teachers in that degree, they were really not that knowledgeable at the time either. They themselves were advocating for various diets. And then the master's degree that I did, which was also in exercise science and nutrition, that was a lot more eye-opening for me and gave me a lot more applicational tools in the sense of how to actually implement that in life. Because I mean, most people know what they should or shouldn't eat, but then how do you work that in with the psychology of somebody, or how do you work that in around everyday life, as opposed to just giving someone a meal plan and say, hey, good luck with that if you're either on the meal plan or you're not. And so that kind of encourages all or nothing thinking, which we really want to move away from.
Yes, and the all or nothing, it's just not the way to go. And I think it's for me personally, it's eating too quickly and just like because you're busy, and then I'll just smash down like something horrific, like 2 bacon sandwiches and something and a packet of chips, and also having your meals at different times and not having a schedule, and I just kind of eat when I'm hungry. I find that to be a problem. And what can people expect if they have a chat to you, Lisa?
For sure. So I mean, they can expect that I truly want to work nutrition around their life. I'm not going to say if you're a busy mom of 3 and you have a full-time job, and I'm not going to say you need to spend 2 hours a day in the kitchen and follow this exact, like, eat 200 grams of chicken and broccoli and nothing else, even though you actually don't like eating meat. So I truly try to tailor the nutrition around the person and their preferences. Of course, there's always going to have to be some form of small restriction if someone wants to lose weight. But, whether that means a restriction in the sense of setting a calorie window or giving someone just a better outline, as you said, in the sense of a structure to follow so that we don't go through the day being hungry or just surviving on 2-3 coffees, and then you get home and then you want to eat half of the fridge. So it truly means that I'm going to ask all the details about your life, your activity, and so on. And people should also know that it's not necessary for someone to work out 5-6 hours a week. Of course, we always want to encourage a little bit of walking or some kind of movement, but it is absolutely possible to lose weight and to feel pretty good without even doing any structured exercise. If you don't have the time for that, of course, my goal would be to build on that. Let's just say if someone doesn't exercise at all right now, maybe focusing on just the nutritional aspect for like 2-3 months, and then adding in 1 workout per week, and then adding in a bit of a yoga class 2 months later. So just layering it so that it's sustainable and that people obtain a long-term goal mindset.
Awesome. I'm just detecting the slightest hint of a European accent, Lisa. Am I correct?
Yes. Well, I'm German. I'm currently in Bolivia. I am somewhat of a digital nomad, so I've been traveling around for the last 6 years, but I haven't actually lived in Germany since 2009. I lived in your neighbor country in New Zealand for about 10 years until 2019. So, yes.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. So you are fluent in sheep? I'll stop being silly. All right. That's wonderful. And if people, so you do the fitness side as well. So you do a fitness program for them. You do the nutritional planning, and you work out what's going on in their life. That's really interesting. I think that's a good idea. And I like the idea of the fact that you can eat good food. I mean, what's the point of living if you can't have a bit of cake? That's what I think.
Precisely. Well, and I mean, especially with my like traveling lifestyle, and again, like I also like eating out. I like going to social events, and I don't like just eating out of a box or the same thing every single day. So I truly think learning how to kind of like navigate healthy nutrition around your lifestyle is so important. And many people, they just kind of give up if it's like, oh, well, I'm going to go on that work trip. Well, I'll start back again on Monday. And that's the thinking that I want people to move away from, and just think, how can I make that trip as successful as possible and make the best choices so that I actually come back feeling just as good or even better, as opposed to going through these constant cycles of like, ugh, I feel gross about myself. I need to do something extreme, and then you do something extreme, you get injured or you get burnt out from that, and then you feel gross about yourself again. And it's not, in my opinion, not a way to live.
100%. And what types of people do you mostly work with, Lisa?
So I would say 80% of the people we work with are women, and usually somewhere between 30, 35, and 55 years old. So a pretty broad range. Many of them are already working out a little bit, but they might just say like, hey, I'm doing something, but it's not really showing in my body. Why? Like, I'm trying to eat good. I'm trying to put some energy into my exercise, but I don't look like it, or I feel like the weight is still piling on. And so that's kind of like a typical client that we work with, but that doesn't mean that we don't have any outliers out of these parameters as well.
Yes, and the accountability is the key as well. So when you do it on your own, you fall off the wagon, you get tired. But when you've got somebody that is checking up on you and you've paid money to, it makes it work a lot better. And being a digital nomad, you can help people all around the planet, I guess, well, within reason.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
are they mostly from anywhere?
I would say maybe 30% from the US and Canada. And then we had for a while quite a few clients in the UAE, so in Dubai and kind of the Middle East there. But also a few in Europe. I currently have one in the Philippines, a couple in New Zealand. So really all over the globe.
Geez, the time schedule is going to be a bit hectic there with the time differences.
That would be, but yeah, most people, they just opt for the plan where it's just voice message and email based. I find that works actually really well for busy people anyway, because they can listen to what I'm saying or the video that I'm sending them whenever they want to, and respond whenever they want to. A few people say I want to still have that even more personal contact with you, and I'm gonna book for like 1 or 2 phone calls per month. But generally speaking, it's very easy.
Yeah, I'd like the text rather than the having to have like a webinar all the time, and you just get that little nagging text. Oh yeah, I've got to go and do my thing. Yeah, that would work. That would work good. Well, that's
Exactly.
wonderful. If you want to check out what Lisa's doing, and before we all go off the rails for Christmas, get a bit of structure in place and get a plan happening. Maybe enjoy your Christmas, but at least have something ready for January. Have a chat to the wonderful Lisa Franz.
Please. Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. All right, let's pop over to Susan Hensley. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to. You've got a lot of experience in the world of the corporate world, I guess you would say. Is that correct? I can't hear you. What happened?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yes.
Perfect. I had a small little coughing fit while Lisa was sharing her information, and I think I muted so I didn't.
Well, thank you
distract
for that.
Lisa's fantastic information. So you're right. After a 20-plus year career in corporate America, and I did a lot of career coaching, executive development, I took up art journaling, which I found to be one of the easiest and most impactful tools for sort of self-discovery and relaxation. Once again, this isn't about being an artist. It's actually about tapping into playfulness and a way to process difficult emotions. And after art journaling really helped me realize it was time to leave that career and start new. So earlier this year, I published the book you've put up there on the screen, Art for Your Sanity. I now lead workshops. I have online training. And once again, the whole goal of art journaling, you use it just like you might a written journal or diary, but you're playing with colors. And I found for like just 10 minutes a day, that process can really help you tap into sense of playfulness, curiosity. And after a while, you start to recognize a little bit more what your heart desires, that maybe because we all live in society and family, we don't really think we could or should do. And it can guide us into some pretty amazing places. So I'm really excited about it. And it's been amazing to be sharing it with people in the last year and see how much fun they have by just sort of silencing that inner critic and going back to the joy they had maybe when they were about age 5 to 8, just playing, whether it's with crayons or collage or just the things they loved to do as a child. Just 10 minutes a day. Very simple.
I remember doing it with the kids. they need to draw some pictures, and then I'm sitting there, and then they've finished and done something else, and I'm still going and drawing this big thing, and it's like meditation, or you get into like the flow state where you're just like in there, and all the creative stuff's going. And I've had people on the podcast who talk about journaling and just writing, and it's a similar thing, and you get into that state of and you don't realize while you're doing it, you're thinking about all your other stuff, and you go and you're working stuff out, and so it's I really understand what you're saying there. And how do you bring this to people currently, Susan? Apart from you got the book.
Well, yeah, a few ways. There's the book. I have some online videos on my website, and then there's online training, and I also teach workshops in person. So a few different ways.
Oh, cool. And how do the workshops go? Do you do them around your local area?
I've been fortunate enough to do them different places in the U.S. as this has caught on. So far, I've only done them in the U.S., but some different states. And it's so interesting to hear participants, because it's exactly what you said. They start to do it and they remember what it was like, and they hit that flow state. And I'm a big written journaler too. And what I notice about writing is we're still in many cases critiquing. When you play with color or collage or glue sticks, whatever you want to play with, it helps to silence that inner critic. It moves you a little bit more into that right side of the brain. And I think you can get to that flow state a little faster.
Yeah, and that sounds like it would be, when you do like PD days where they hire a speaker at your work or whatever, and you go in there and you listen to some boring dude or a motivational speaker. I used to have to go to those, like they're the worst. And I can imagine doing something like this would be like, oh yeah, this is awesome, and getting everyone working, quietly. That's awesome. And tell us about the online course that you've got. How long does that go for?
So it's self-paced. It's 6 modules and a bonus module with a workbook. I recommend taking at least a week per module, because there's a series of questions and exercises, and you want to start to build the habit. But because it's self-paced, it's really what fits in best with people's life. And I think that flexibility, as we've been talking about, is just really important in our world today, that people have access to some of these tools when they want them and in a way that fits in with their lifestyle.
Wonderful. And, mental health as well. We just don't stop and reflect. And, sometimes we bottle things up until it's too late. Well, I do that all the time. And I start to feel unwell. And it's like, oh, I've got some stuff. My wife just deals with it straight away and just gets it all out. And then like 3 months later, I start getting it out and it's too late. But stuff like this is great. And also, what Lisa was talking about, health and getting control of your health gets you in a state of you just feel so much better. And also just doing exercise and being healthy, you feel better mentally. I'm a big believer in that we need to do whatever we can to be healthy in that way, mentally as well as physically. So some very interesting and wonderful guests. Thank you very much, ladies. I enjoyed that a lot, for coming on and sharing that. If you want to meet up and have a chat to our wonderful guests, their details are in the show notes. Thank you very much, Lisa. And
my pleasure.
Susan.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, guests. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you.